everybody, Sweet Junior coming at you another video. First off, before I talk about anything, I want to apologize of why I didn't post yesterday. So much stuff has been going on, and I'll get into that stuff in a minute. But, just so much stuff has been going on in my life, and, my schedule, I had to work last minute yesterday. I know that's not a good excuse, but it threw off my whole schedule. But, I'm making up for it by making a video today. So hopefully, please forgive me. I'm sorry. I'm doing the best I can. So just bear with me. Today I'm talking about what's been going on in my life. Recently a lot of stressful and worrying things and, scary things have been going on in my life, and I just kind of want to talk about it and just, vent, I guess. It's not really what bothers me, that type of vent. It's just like letting you guys know what's going on in my life right now. So, it all started around really Christmas, but it kind of intensified since then. Around Christmas it wasn't too bad, but now it's just kind of been all over the place the last 2 or so weeks. I've been just having to juggle a lot of stuff recently. My father got really sick. He at first it just seemed like no normal flu. It seemed like, just the typical throwing up and coughing and, that type of stuff. But it seemed to really intensify. He was really lethargic, and he wouldn't really eat, and he had trouble breathing and stuff. And he was getting better for a while, but then all of a sudden a few days ago he crashed again. He had all the symptoms kind of just resurfaced, if you will, and it seemed like it might have been even worse. It was so bad that they had to bring him to the hospital, and thankfully he's okay. Knock on wood. I don't have any wood to knock on, but invisible. Knock on wood. Hopefully now he's okay. He's somewhat getting over it now. They didn't find anything wrong. They did all these tests, but that doesn't mean that something isn't going on. I can't explain exactly what. I'm not a doctor, but he just seemed very just not okay. He was really pale. He wouldn't eat. He didn't really want to get up and do things, which obviously, if you knew him, is not my father. He is always out doing something, always out going somewhere, doing events or something like that. He's a very social, extroverted person. So for me to see him that way was just a little rough. But now hopefully he's okay, and hopefully he stays that way, But, hopefully we'll see how that goes. So that's been going on. And then before that, or during that whole situation of when that was going on, the main thing of this video I want to talk about is my dog. I don't know if you guys would remember, she's only been on this channel maybe 2, tops 3 times. My dog Snickers. She has been suffering from bladder stones for the last year or so of her life. And she was dealing with it pretty well. Actually she was still happy-go-lucky. She was still energized and happy to see. It didn't really bother her. It didn't really trample on her life. But recently, again, around the same time when my father got sick, it seemed like she was getting sick too, similar symptoms. It seemed throwing up and, with dogs, obviously it was throw up and diarrhea and, also very, tired and just not, whatever. So at first I thought maybe she was getting the dog version of what my dad had, or maybe there's just something going around. But then it continued where she stopped throwing up, but she still was just not full of energy. She still wasn't getting up to do, like she actually, it seemed like maybe she hurt herself somehow. Like, I don't know if she was like maybe jumping off the furniture, because she's old, she's 10. So I don't know if she was like jumping off the furniture or jumping onto the furniture and she fell and hurt her foot, twisted her ankle, that typical thing. You've seen dogs do it before. She was favoring the back. Like, it didn't seem to bother her at first. She was still getting up and around, but as the week went on, she got up less and less. Like, she wasn't really getting up to go to the bathroom. She was just kind of like, because we've been used to her going in the house just because of the bladder stones and stuff. She can't really control it. So she wasn't really getting, like, up to go to the bathroom. She wasn't really getting up to eat, which obviously, that's a red flag, because Snickers always wants to eat. She always wants to eat something. She's always in your face about food. And so for her not to want to eat, obviously something's wrong. And then it's like, she's always happy. She's always really like, happy to see you. She's always loving on you and whatever. And she didn't act that way. Like, she was just so, like, lethargic and, like, distant from everybody. Like, she didn't really want to, like, be with people. Like, she didn't, she was kind of, like, just laying on the floor or on my mom's bed, kind of just hanging her head down and, like, really sad. And she didn't really seem like herself. So eventually we got to the point where, like, all right, we got to take her to the vet, because this isn't normal. So we took her to the vet, and they did, some blood tests, and they did the typical stuff, and she had a bit of a high fever, which could mean that, and also based on her blood tests, it seems like she was fighting off some sort of, like, virus, because he said that she had a high blood count, or, like, the white blood cells. It was heavily suspected that she, based on certain, like, breathing and body mannerisms, I guess. Again, I'm not a vet, so I wouldn't know. But, it was suspected that she had liver cancer. And so obviously that was very concerning, and that was very, sad. And, he gave us, when he came back with that and, gave the he said about suspecting about liver cancer and all this, and all these other symptoms of, like, not getting up and not eating and all these other things. He technically gave us 3 options. 2 were operation, like, related. He could go in and see, or, whatever. Now, I should mention that when she was diagnosed with the bladder stones, they gave this from a different vet. He said that they could go in and operate and take the bladder stones out, but we didn't have the money at the time, and we were kind of saving up for that to see if we could do that. And so this doctor said, these 2 options that were heavily operation related, we also couldn't afford. We're not that type of family. Unfortunately, my family does not make very much money. We don't make thousands of dollars a year, we just don't. And that's even between the 3 of us, between now that I work. So, it's difficult. Not everybody has this money, that. So we were left with one option. And I assume that you guys can probably see where this is going, because I've been kind of putting it off lately, or putting it at a distance, because I left it kind of in the back burner. We had to put my dog down, which was very difficult. I've never had to put down an animal before. My mom had. Before I was born, they had a pug named Haley that had a brain problem. I don't know if it was brain tumor or aneurysm, or she had, like, bruising in her brain or something like that. And so they had to put her down. So it's been a long time. It's been going on 20 years at least, I think, since my mom had to put an animal down unless I don't think she had to put any other animals down. Between that, at least I don't remember. But Snickers was, it was difficult, you know. She was 10, which, you gotta give to her. That was, according to the vet, actually, that's longer than boxers are supposed to live. Sorry, my nose is running. 10 years old, that's a long time. This coming up June, if she would have made it, which I don't know if she would have been 11. So, that's pretty, high for a boxer. Because when I was in school, I went to school for small animal care. We were told that it was 10 to 12 years, give or take. Sometimes 15, even if you're lucky. According to the vet, that's wrong. Or at least it's gone down since I was in school. Because he says now boxers live only to 8. So, according to the vet, we actually got 2 more years than we should have by the standard, which is amazing. That doesn't make it any easier, but it does make it kind of like, okay, we had her for longer than most animals have, or most people have their animals, so, but yeah, it was really hard. I mean, I knew it was coming, we've been preparing for it for a long time, because we knew the whole 10 to 12 thing, we knew that it was going to come soon. And personally for me, I kind of was just preparing for, I think, for me to wake up one day and just see her gone already in the living room. I don't know if I really was preparing. I want to say I was preparing for it if it had to happen at the vet. But then when it actually happened in front of me, it just kind of not took me by surprise, but it just hit me a little bit harder to actually physically see her face. To actually see, the sadness in her eyes, to actually see that she was dying in a way, like she knew. Dogs aren't stupid. I know a lot of people think dogs are just stupid animals, that they don't have emotions. Whoever thinks that is a terrible person, because animals feel just like people. They get happy, they get sad. They go through just as much emotion as we do. So, you could see it in her eyes that she knew it was, her time. So, it was difficult. And I told my mom that, I'd say my goodbyes, but I didn't want to be in the room when it happened, because I just didn't feel comfortable in that situation. So she's like, yeah, no, that's okay. You don't have to be in the room. So I said my goodbyes, and I was crying. And, then, I left, and then I sat out in my, out in the waiting room, and then, I tried to, calm myself down, kind of just woo-saw, I guess. And then I called my best friend Mary, who unfortunately couldn't answer due to a work-related issue. Not that I'm blaming her for that, but, Then I called my cousin Nicole, and then I told her what was good. She answered. I told her what was going on, and then she said that she was sorry, and then if I needed anything, just call and whatever. So I said okay, and then I sat out in the living room, and then I drank some water that they had, and I kind of just waited, and I saw the doctor go in with, I want to say either, I don't know if he had a razor and the needle or if it was just the needle. I don't know if he had, because Snickers' hair was short, so I don't know if he would have had to shave. But I saw the doctor go in with a needle, and I think he did make eye contact with me, and then he did it, and it took a while. I don't know if it's because the vet was busy, but he did do it, and then my mom comes out. She's all upset. Obviously, she's destroyed because that was her look. Whatever, that was like her second child, honestly, because it's only me. I don't have any siblings. It's only me and our animals. So that was like her child. That was, she took good care of Snickers, and we all tried to take good care of Snickers. She was really loved. But it was, I think, really hard for my mom, and so she was crying, and then we went out for the day, and then so we're gonna get her ashes eventually, and then I guess we're gonna get a nice box or a urn or whatever you do, and then probably display it somewhere where my cat can't get it and knock it over, and it's gonna be hard, and it's been hard. We had to do that Saturday, so technically it's only been Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it's Wednesday, so it's been 4 days without my dog now. And it's weird, you'll get the weirdest, like when you lose a pet like this, people probably know how it feels. Like, this is probably going to be a longer video because I'm just, whatever, but that's fine. Just letting you know in advance if this goes on for forever. But people will know how it feels, especially with dogs, I feel like, just because you're so used to them, like, meeting you at the door, and you're used to them, like, jumping all over you, and depending on your dog, they'll, like, ask you for food all the time, and just, so, when you have an animal like that, and then you come home, and they're not there anymore, it's just kind of empty. It's just, like, you'll get the weirdest flashbacks of, like, when you remember something. Like, it happened the other day. I don't know if that was the actual day she died or if that was the day after. I want to say it was the same day. Me and my mom went out shopping, and we came back home, and I'm so used, and when I went to shut the door, I got the weirdest flashback of me saying to my mom, like, when she used to be alive, that, hey, should I leave the door open for you to take out the dog? And she would say yes or no, depending. Obviously, with Snickers gone now, when I went to shut the door, I had a flashback of asking her, and it'd be like, oh, I'm not going to be asking that anymore, am I? So when I went to shut the door, and I went, oh. And my mom heard me, and she's like, what? And I was like, no, I just had the weirdest, like, feeling, like, flashback. And she's like, what? And I was like, oh, well, when I went to close the door, I had a flashback of when I would, about asking you if, I'm so used to asking you if you want the door open for the dog to take the dog in, and I just realized, and she's like, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I get it. And so, like, we're not going to be saying that anymore for a while. And then just, like, coming home and not seeing her, and, we put up a lot of her stuff away, like her food bowl and her leashes, because it's hard to see it, like, out on display. So, so it's just, like, those things, those, like, not having to worry about, like, or not worrying about, like, her bothering for food anymore, or, just, like, hearing her bark if you're outside, or, especially because the last year, because of the bladder stones, because of her peeing all over the house, it's been weird, like, not having to worry, because the last, like, year or so, I've had to, like, worry about, like, wearing slippers, or I try to get into, I'm not a slipper person, I usually don't wear slippers around the house, I'm just so used to wearing socks, but for the last year, she was peeing all over the floor, so I wanted to protect my socks, because wet socks are the worst, and I would try to wear slippers, but sometimes you forget and you step and pee, and it happens, but, It feels kind of weird to not have to worry about wearing slippers, to be able to walk around like free without that worry anymore. So that kind of feels strange. And then I do kind of wonder if my cat Binks knows what's going on. Like, I kind of wonder, because he doesn't seem bothered, at least not right now. But then again, it's only been a few days, so I don't know if he knows that there's something missing, that there's something wrong, or if because when we came home, I'm like, the big puppy's gone, and he didn't really register, but cats usually don't. But I kind of wonder if he knows what's going on, like if he knows that she's gone, and like how he feels about it. Like, I think he just doesn't, not that he doesn't care, but I think he just cares about himself. Like, he just wants the attention, So I don't know if he's going to be missing her or if he really knows, but yeah, so it's just kind of weird just to have Binks now. He's my main priority, but yeah. So that's the main thing, at least, that happened, or what's been going on. So it's just been all over the place, both just my schedule and just everything like this, like my dad getting sick and then having to put Snickers down. It's just, my life is just, emotion, like an emotional roller coaster, it's just all over the place. Not that I'm saying that's an excuse or anything, but it's just, it's hard. And I want to let you guys know what's going on in my life, because, I care about you all, and I want to let you know about my life and just let you in on, because I'm that open of a person. I want you to know what's going on in my day to day. But hopefully, now that Snickers is gone, it's kind of like starting to set in a little bit. It's still going to be hard. It's still going to be awkward. Whatever. Probably if I ever see a boxer on the internet, or if I see a boxer on the street, it's going to feel weird, But, so, yeah. But, I don't think I have too much else to talk about. I think that was just it. I just wanted to really talk about Snickers and what she meant to me, because she was my dog, She, I've had her since I was 9, because she was 10. So I want to say 8 or 9, because I think we got her the year that I went to Florida, which was, because I always get it confused. I don't know if I was 8 in 2009 or 9 in 2000. I think it was 2009, and I was, because 1998, so 99, 2002, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait. 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007. It might have been 2008. It might have been 2000, 9, or late 2009-ish. I might have just turned 10, maybe. I don't know. I always get that mixed up. But, I think I got her that following August. And that was the whole thing. I didn't expect to have a dog, and that was actually a surprise. I went on a whole separate vacation with my aunt. It was the first time we brought my cousin Nicole, and I remember coming back, and my mom was unusually helpful. Normally, not saying that my mom isn't helpful, but she was like, "Oh, can I help you with your bags?" And she was just something was off, something about it. I don't know why. It was just their mom was yeah, and she brought up my bags, and all of a sudden there's a cute little 5-month-old, or however, I think she was 5 months old, puppy sitting in the hall. And I was like, whose dog is, at first I thought my mom was dog sitting. So I was like, whose dog is this? She's like, and she turns to me, she's like, it's ours. And I'm like my jaw dropped. I was like, really? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, what's her name? And she says Snickers. And because I didn't get to pick the name, and neither did my mom. My dad picked it because he was the one that brought her home. Along with, because my neighbor had her brother, who unfortunately died years and years ago due to cancer. And that was the cool thing too. She outlived all her siblings. She was the last one. All her family, was gone. So she was like the last legacy. Which was kind of cool. But, it was just her time, and she'll always be missed. She'll always be loved. But, I mean, maybe we'll get a dog one day, eventually. I don't know what kind of dog. Nothing big, nothing like how Snickers was, Not that we didn't love Snickers, but Snickers was just too big and too strong. And my mom talks about going on vacation a lot, so I think it's just gonna be like something small. Something I'd say under like 35 pounds-ish. So something that we could, if we did go on vacation, that we could leave and we wouldn't have to worry. Because with Snickers, I have my aunt who suffered from a stroke, and she can't control Snickers because she's big and husky, and she's strong and she pulls. And my uncle's kind of doesn't really like the pulling either. So if we got something small, at least if it was small, he could both carry it down the stairs and it wouldn't pull as much, or if it was small enough, we could take it with us if it was a pet-friendly hotel. So, or maybe we'll just have cats. Either way, I don't know. I think eventually we're probably going to get a dog, but it's probably going to be a small dog. If you guys have suggestions of what kind of dog you want me to get, but this is not going to be probably for a long time. Probably, we're talking a few years, people. Probably at least 2 to 5 years. Just to get used to not having a dog. Or at least when we feel ready. But if you have suggestions of what kind of dog, I'd say, again, like under 35-ish pounds. That way it's small and carryable and, whatever. Personally, me, if I had the choice, I would get either a bulldog or a French bulldog. Just because I love them to bits. They are my favorite type of dog. I've never had one, but I just love everything about them. I don't think I'd want a Yorkie. Not that I don't like Yorkies. I like them very much. But my cousin has Yorkies. So it's just, I kind of want something different. I want something for myself. And we already had a Maltese, That was Buffy, she died, before. She died way before I even started making this YouTube channel. She died when I was in high school. So I want something new, a new experience, new, fresh, clean slate. So if you guys have suggestions, let me know. But I think that wraps up this video. If you have any suggestions of what you want to hear me talk about, write down in the comments, like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!